it's important to know that our health as indigenous peoples is different than Europeans and Asians. Our anatomies and physiologies and what we're required for, it is different. We are different than them. We look different biologically because we are different. That is super important to my conversation. Super important to my conversation. So Pfizer and some other companies are now working with the government, fast tracking to a vaccine. Never seen before this fast. And some people will say, well, they're going too fast, so it must be illegal. Well, according to what they're saying, their approach is different. They're not going to clone or create a recombinant virus, which is what they do. They take pieces of the amino acid chains of the virus and they clone it, and so now they can put it into a vaccine. They're not going to do that. For the first time in history, they're going to do something completely different, according to them. And you can go to Pfizer.com and read this. What they're going to do is they're going to take the little protein that the virus attaches to get into the cell. They're going to take that protein and they're going to synthesize it through recombinant DNA, cloning, basically. They're going to synthesize lots of it. They put it in the vaccine and they're going to put that inside your body. So now what is that vaccine going to do? It's going to use messenger RNA, all right, genetics, to duplicate the spike protein, which is the protein that the coronavirus that we're talking about attaches to. They're going to reproduce it in mass throughout the cells so the cells can give an immune response, right? This is their explanation, not mine, theirs. And produce antibodies to the actual protein receptor, not to the virus. And what they're saying is, this is groundbreaking because now the virus won't even be able to enter the cells. It won't be able to attach. And then we need to start asking some questions. What is the spike protein? If you're going to clone it, what is it? All right. And according to what, conventional science teaches us, a spike protein is just a protein that a virus can attach to. Specifically here, the ACE2 receptor of the coronavirus. I'm talking big words right now, but I'm going to make this really simple for you. I need you to understand this. So, let's ask ourselves a question. Are the cells of indigenous people different than the cells of Europeans and Asians? Yes. Are the cell membranes different? Yes. They're very different. And I'm going to prove it to you. You can go look up spike protein variants in Africans, Europeans, and Asians. Put that in your Google search and watch what comes up. Spike protein variants in Africans, Europeans, and Asians. Those are the terms that they're using for the three main groups. All right. So I'm going by what will come up in the search. When you search that information, what you're going to see is, wait a minute. The cell membranes of Asians, Europeans, and peoples of African descent or indigenous people they're different. And what you're going to find out is that we have way less of the spike protein, right? This is important. And they have way more. Why? The spike protein is made by some people's immune cells. Immune cells will come like a flag and stick something inside of a cell that is native or inside of a cell that is foreign. But our immune systems are different, and I'm about to explain it to you in very great detail. So now if you're going to reproduce in mass spike proteins in bodies that have way less, what are you doing to that body? This is the black people, the melanated people. But the less melanated people have higher amounts, so it won't affect them as much. That's point number one. So now you're going to produce something in your body that you have way less of. And there's a reason why you have way less of it. Our immune systems operate differently. So that's what you can do right now. Spike protein variants in Africans, Europeans, and Asians. Google that. All the studies are going to come up. Now, what makes our cell membranes different? What makes it different? One thing makes it different. The sun. The sun makes our cells, immune cells, different. And let me explain how. Right? Most people don't know that you go out in the sun and you sit out in it and sometimes you get a tan. You get darker, right? What's happening in the skin? The sun is making a hormone in the skin upon contact. It's called cholecalciferol. Cholecalciferol is a hormone made in the skin by our contact with the elements from the sun. Cholecalciferol converts itself in the liver to another hormone that's called a vitamin. Y'all know from years ago, I've been telling y'all that vitamin D is not a vitamin. It is a hormone. Now, after all these years of saying it, new standard literature is telling the people that vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. This is in the latest European models. But we've been saying this for over a decade. Anyway, cholecalciferol converts to vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is made in the liver, and you're thinking, oh yeah, we need vitamin D for our bones. That's what you think, right? Hold on. Nope. That's not all you need vitamin D for. That's a very important reason why. But guess what? All over your brain, you have vitamin D receptors. All over your lungs, you have vitamin D receptors. All over your muscles, you have vitamin D receptors. Why? Because how dark you are, your melanin is connected to how healthy you are all over your body. Your muscles need vitamin D. Your brain needs vitamin D. This is a hormone that's made from the sun. Your skin needs vitamin D. Your liver needs vitamin D. All throughout your body, you have all these receptors for vitamin D. So what the hell is vitamin D? It's sunlight converted to hormonal through pathways, right? Connected to your melanin, right? So what is it actually doing? Let me tell you. Vitamin D will hook up with another vitamin, pantheroic acid, B5. Sometimes it's in a larger chain called coenzyme A. It will marry up with that and make a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. This is a nerve, made from nerve cells. What does ACH do? What does ACH do? It gives you the ability to sleep and repair, and it also gives your ability of all of your automatic functions to work in your body. I'm talking about automatic functions of the heart, breathing, the autonomic nervous system. This is your part of, you have trillions of interactions going on right now in your body. And you don't have to tell your body to do any of it. And some people attribute it to God. God is controlling it. Well, if God was a chemical, God would be vitamin D. Literally. Because there's a whole bunch of carbon chains on there and other. If God was a chemical, God would be vitamin D. All right. So what's happening with this ACH? Let me just give it to you straight, because now we're about to go in. How do you get higher levels of this neurotransmitter? You know how you get it? By going outside. People who don't go outside are sicker. You stay in the house all day, you get depressed, you're producing less acetylcholine, this neurotransmitter, right? That keeps you active and awake, and all these things got all of your automatic functions going. You're making less vitamin D, less cholecalciferol because you're getting less sunlight. So when I put sunlight is nutrition years ago in our course, I'm telling you sunlight is nutrition. Somebody asked me, see, this is the spookism. Can we produce vitamin D through mental process? What is a mental process? A mental process is chemicals, bruh. There's no such thing as a mental process with no chemicals. We have to stop being spooky. And this is why I'm approaching you with science, so you can throw all the spookism away. Because anybody pulling no vitamin D out of rabbit hats. You got to go out and get in the sun to get vitamin D. All right? So, the whole lockdown, quarantine was about what? Don't go outside. Only leave out when you're doing essential things. When you go into the store, stay inside your house. Social distance. Quarantine. Do you know what these people are setting you up for? They were setting you up to lower your levels of acetylcholine, your neurotransmitter, lower your level of vitamin D, lower your interaction with the outside forces, the trees, the sunlight. Lower that so they can weaken your immune system in preparation for a vaccine that is race specific in its immunology.